Welcome into Jets Nation Radio episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Angus Hout, and to my podcast left, Mr. Noah Fuchs. How are we doing today?
Howdy, I'm doing all right. Sunday,
Sunday, taking it easy. We are recording a day early because, there's an election tomorrow, and I'm going camping, so got to keep giving you guys episodes. So, we're also doing this now on YouTube, so you'll be able to find us at Jets Nation Radio there, and take a listen on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. So, jumping right into it. 2 weeks ago, the NHL dropped the top 50 forwards in the NHL.
Top 100.
What did I say? Yeah.
You said 50.
I said 50. I meant to say top 100. So for Winnipeg Jets hit that list, Mark Scheifele, number 26, Kyle Connor, 34, Ehlers, 35, and Wheeler, 72. Noah, good spots for those players. Rank higher, rank lower.
Kyle Connor probably could have been a little bit higher.
Where would you place him?
That's a tough question. It's tough because they got Brady Tkachuk at number 13, but this is just fantasy wise. This is like depending on what you're looking for in fantasy. I think obviously Kyle Connor's a better player than Brady Tkachuk at 13. There's a lot of other players that I think he could pass as well. Like I think he's probably better than Max Pacioretty.
Oh, 100%.
And he's one spot ahead of Scheifele. I think Scheifele's like right around where he should be. Maybe Scheifele could be a little bit higher, but I'm not going to argue that. But I do think Connor could be in the 20s for sure. Ehlers, I kind of agree with 35. He might be able to get a little higher. I don't think he should be lower. And then they got Wheeler at 72.
I kind of think that's a little high for Wheeler. Like, I love the player, but I don't know if he should be that high on your fantasy list, on the fantasy list.
It's definitely, it might be a tad high, but I think if I were to put him any lower, it'd probably be 75. Like, I think he's still a top 100 player. And then we got to shout out former Jet Evander Kane at 96. I know he would wish to turn those numbers around and go 69 because
he's just that guy.
He's just like that. I don't even know if he's going to play. So I don't know why they have him on this top 100 list, but I guess they're just being honest. He is a good fantasy player, so.
Yeah, Patrick Laine, number 90.
That's another former Jet. I think he could be higher, but obviously they're just going off, what have you done for me lately? As do most people. That's how you rate anyone in the NHL, right? It's like, what have you done for me lately? But I just don't agree with Trevor Zegras being 87 and Laine being 90. Like, Trevor Zegras has showed you nothing in the NHL. He's been a great American player at the World Juniors and at every level he's played at, but Laine's put up 40 in the NHL, and then they got Trevor Zegras at 87. It just kind of boggles my mind. And Connor Garland's at 86. Like, I think Laine could definitely be a far bit higher on this list.
Yeah, well, I saw Taylor Hall, 86, 87, something like that?
Taylor Hall hasn't had a good last couple of years, production-wise, until he got to Boston. He's been a good player in Boston, but I can understand that one a little bit more because it's more than just one season. And, he's a little injury-prone as well. He never really plays a full season. But, yeah, I wouldn't argue that Taylor Hall could maybe be a bit higher, but I think it's just more what's the word I'm looking for? It's more outrageous that Patrick Laine is at number 90 than it is that Hall's at, 77?
Yeah, whatever he's at. Okay, so you get to, shift this list. Where are you putting Laine?
Probably put him around 70, 71.
71, right? Like low 70s?
Yeah.
I like it. I can see it. So
that's where he should be.
Where he should be, yeah. But again, like when you're playing under John Tortorella and going to Ohio, you really don't want to be there too often. Especially like getting traded in the middle of a pandemic. Like that's pretty sketchy stuff, so.
Yeah, so what they're basing this list off of is goals, assists, plus minus, power play points, shot on goal. That's why Brady Tkachuk is so high up. He shoots from anywhere. Those are the factors and hits. They're also factoring in hits. That also helps Brady Tkachuk. So yeah, I don't think Connor. You can't really argue the top Connor McDavid, but just from a Jets perspective, current and former Jets, Laine should be higher. Scheifele could be a tad higher. Ehlers is where he should be. Kyle Connor should be 15 spots higher. And, Wheeler's kind of right where he should be as well. and Evander Kane is on the list
for whatever reason.
For betting purposes, obviously.
Okay, well, look, we there's that whole thing going on with Evander Kane. Should you be able to bet on your own games if you think you're going to win? Like, if obviously you don't want to have players throwing games, but if they believe in themselves to win a game, do you think they should be allowed to do that?
I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with betting on yourself. I think players bet on themselves all the time in contract years, and obviously it pays off, or it doesn't. You lose. You gamble on yourself all the time in the NHL. You gamble on yourself your whole life. But in saying that, there's rules in place that you're not allowed to do that, and if he did that, he should be punished for it. But in a world that I would run, I would say that players could bet on themselves, just not against their teams, obviously, because like you said,
yeah,
you throw games and then just win easy money. That's the worst thing ever. But betting on yourself
to win,
I think that's in a world where I would make the rules, that would be okay. But in the world we live in, that's not okay. And if Evander Kane was doing that, he should be punished.
Yep. Okay, I agree with that. I don't know. It'd be cool if they had like an NHL bookie, and at the end of the season, we see how much players bet on themselves. So maybe like Connor McDavid, he's like, I'm going to put up 109 points this year, hypothetically, and he's like, I'll bet $6 million on that.
Yeah, but then once he gets to 109, there's no incentive for him to get 110. So you want players to get the most amount of points they can, right?
I guess so. All right, I see your logic there. Sliding more to the Jets' actual team, I'm looking forward to the season. Who's the defenseman who gets the most points this year?
Neil Pionk.
Neil Pionk?
Without a doubt. It could be Josh Morrissey, but I tend to think it's going to be Neil Pionk.
Oh, see, I'm going to throw Nate Schmidt at you for that one. Because, like, I know Schmidt has had a couple of Schmitty years in the last couple of years, sorry. But I think he can turn it around, and with Paul, stop. Sorry, you got that lip like you're trying to not laugh. But yeah, I think with how Paul Maurice might run his team a little bit this year, with the fact that he's got good defenders all around, he might let Nate Schmidt go a little bit wild. And Nate Schmidt might be the guy. I think he's got it. I think it's going to be a race between him and Pionk, and it's going to be a difference of like 2.5 points. But my guy is Nate Schmidt.
I think Nate Schmidt's going to be a valuable defensive player for the Jets, but I don't know how many opportunities he's going to get on the power play, and that's where you get a lot of points. I just see it as Neil Pionk in my mind. I think Neil Pionk's going to put up probably 11 goals, tops 32 assists, and he'll have around 45, 50 points, and that'd be a good season from a defenseman.
Oh, absolutely! You can't be mad about that, even with that $6 million contract that Pionk signed this summer.
It's like 5.89 or something.
Yeah,
around $6 million.
Right around $6 million. So, yeah, you'd feel comfortable with Pionk picking up that many points. And
I don't know
is he worth that $6?
If he gets 50 points, he's worth $6 million. But just generally, I think he's going to be the Jets' best defenseman point production-wise. I'm not saying he's going to get 50 points, but that's his ceiling. Realistically, probably like 35, 37. If anyone on the Jets puts up 37 points, you're looking good at being the best scorer on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know I wrote about that on jetsnation.ca, so go check that article out where I was talking about the top 10 points players a couple weeks back.
And let me just say, there is a possibility that I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. A Jets defenseman could put up 60 points for all I know, but I just see realistically 37 to 42 kind of the range. Ceiling for Neil Pionk, maybe 45 to 50. But if any Jet's going to put up 37 to 42 points, you're looking like you're probably going to be the highest.
The guy,
yeah.
Yeah, and like Nate Schmidt, he's going to be my guy. I've got him for 41 points. I know it's outrageous, but I'm all in on Nate Schmidt. He's got this. Player with the most fights this year.
Oh, geez. I don't know. Ehlers? Ehlers is a feisty guy. He once upon a time fought Getzlaf, as people know.
Should go check that out at hockeyfightstocks.com, CA.
Yeah, I really don't know who I would say is going to have the most fights because I just don't know how much fighting is a part of the game anymore. It's just like it's more here and there kind of thing. I mean, with fans in the buildings, I do think there's going to be more fights because there's going to be more energy in the air. But yeah, it's a tough question. Who do you think?
I've got big man Logan Stanley. Not because he wants to.
He's soft.
He's not.
gonna
I'm not
fight.
saying he's a good fighter. I'm just saying because he's so big. He's like Zdeno Chara, where he can just rip guys out, and then they're like, "Hey, let's fight."
Maybe he turns the corner and becomes more aggressive this year, but I don't see that happening based on his playing style.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got such long arms. So how many like actual good shots has he taken to the jaw? He's taken a couple off the chin, but not enough to put him out.
Man, sometimes when you're soft as butter, bro, it doesn't matter how you spread it, you know?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'll just stick with Ehlers because I don't think there's going to be any substantial goon on the Jets.
Fair enough. What's your favorite fight of all time?
Favorite fight of all time? Do you have one? Off the top of your head?
Yeah, actually, it was the first game I ever went to, and George LaRocque was taking on the former Jets, the Atlanta Thrashers. I don't know who he fought, but it's just like Big George just dummied the guy, and it was pretty amazing. The other one is the Battle of Alberta fight where Mike Smith and Cam Talbot fought each other. That was a pretty cool fight to see.
Yeah, goalie fights are always awesome to see.
Yeah, well, especially just the way that Mike Smith skated out to the ice and just like put his hands on his stick and just waiting for it. That's what got me going.
Yeah, well, maybe favorite fighter of all time, just to make it about the Jets, not the Oilers. Probably Ty Domi. Yeah, so I wasn't born yet, but Ty Domi versus Probert. Those videos on YouTube, pretty legendary. I'll go with that. This generation, my favorite fight, I still want to go with the Getzlaf versus Ehlers because I loved that Ehlers did that. He stepped out.
Love it.
And he held his own.
He did. That was one of my first tastes of the Jets, was like watching that fight and like that kid seems like he's gonna be pretty good. I thought he was gonna be more of a goon than anything else, but what do I know? Ehlers
He was already like a finesse player at that point.
Was he? Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's how deep in my Oilers fandom I was. I'm sorry that I've just come to the party late. But we're on there. I got my Nick Ehlers jersey on now.
There you go.
Yeah, I believe in the guy.
Just go scrap someone in the
I
streets.
think that's a great idea.
Wear some hockey gloves, just throw them off.
Just look for Buddy down in downtown Dauphin.
City of Sunshine.
City of Sunshine, baby. Okay. All-Star game or draft of 2022 is going to be in Montreal. Would you rather an All-Star game or All-Star weekend or draft weekend in Winnipeg?
I've been thinking hard about this one because this is one of the ones that you actually prepared me for. And it's tough for me because I'm a big fan of the draft, and Winnipeg has never really had a draft. I don't know if we've ever had an All-Star game. Definitely not in my lifetime. Jets 2.0 haven't, but maybe they did 1.0. Can't remember. But I think I'd want to go All-Star game, and my dad's gonna kill me for that one because my dad would rather have the draft in Winnipeg for sure than the All-Star game. But I would love to see the All-Star game in Winnipeg. I think it'd be unreal.
Even though it's like minus 8,000 in the middle of February, and the players definitely don't want to be up here.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to come. So I guess maybe it's more likely the draft because we get to showcase a little bit of Winnipeg's warm weather. But at the same time,
You gotta give the kids of Winnipeg something. Like, I think the All-Star game is way more for the kids than it is for the grown-ups.
yeah, but at the same time, you got to showcase, like, it's not all about the weather. Like being super cold is like, it's hockey. Like,
Yeah.
you're not always going to be in California. I mean, traditionally, you play hockey in cold weather. So I'm sorry, maybe our frappuccinos aren't as good and our Wi-Fi is not as good, but the All-Star game in the middle of February, I would be way more excited for than the draft. Maybe I shouldn't say way more excited because I am a nerd for the draft as well. But the All-Star game would be more exciting for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just having like all 30 mascots show up for a weekend, I think it'd be a great time in Winnipeg. And who is your GOAT player and their GOAT moment?
GOAT player and GOAT moment. This generation, Sidney Crosby's kind of the GOAT, and I'll go 2010 golden goal.
Okay, what about your personal GOAT? Like the guy you just don't want to forget about. And you're just like, I love this guy. Doesn't matter if he was an all-star or not. He's just like that guy that has a spot in your heart.
For the Jets, Dustin Buffalon is one of the greatest of all time. Can't go wrong with the Buffy answer. One of the greatest moments I remember is him just ragdolling like 3 Golden Knights or whatever it was, 2 Golden Knights, and just sunning them.
Oh man, that was
playoff run.
Yeah, I shared that photo for the NHL countdown over on our Instagram page. You're just all excited about your Dusty Buffalon hat, the golfer's hat. And yeah, like that has been like the most like thing that I've seen on that Instagram page since I took over that one. So,
and I'll say it again: the Jets are still looking to replace Dustin Buffalon, and you can't do it.
Nope, never.
There's a hole that will never probably be filled, or at least it'll take a long time.
I don't think there'll ever be another player like Dustin Buffalon.
No, but I mean, I think you could fill that hole with maybe 2 elite players. But he's just so unique. You can't fill it with one.
Yeah, like do you ever see like a guy that big who's that much of a goon, but also plays so well? Like he's the whole package.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, but to come back up to Winnipeg, oof. So again, I gotta go back to the Oilers because still a little bit of an Oilers fan. But Ryan Schmidt is my GOAT player. Just the guy that I loved ever since I was a kid. If you were an Oilers fan during the time of darkness in Winnipeg where there was no Winnipeg Jets, hopefully you were cheering for the Oilers and hopefully Ryan Schmidt was your guy. And the time that he took the puck to the Chicklets and came back a shift later, always be my favorite moment.
He also went on to assist John Horkoff's game-winning goal in the playoffs.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Well, it was the same game.
I know it's the same game, but it's like everyone's kind of forgotten about the latter half of that.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's just you. Because that's like half the story is that he took a shot to the Chicklets, came back, and then got an assist.
I guess.
The overtime winning assist.
He was also a part of the assist on the Patrick Stefan goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that one. It was a great moment.
That was a great moment in hockey history. Thank you, Patrick Stefan, and Ray Ferraro for your favorite moment in commentating.
Broadcasting history, yeah. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, if everyone's seen the Patrick Stefan goal.
Patrick Stefan, that does not belong at the National Hockey League level.
Love it.
Or something along those lines.
And I've heard a rumor that Ray Ferraro was actually like trying to go out for dinner that night, but they had to go into overtime, so he's late to something. Allegedly.
Ray Ferraro was the best.
Yeah.
But Patrick Stefan, former first overall pick.
Of the former Atlanta Thrashers. He could have been a Winnipeg Jet.
So could have Kovalchuk. Heatley, Hossa.
So many.
I'll take Buffalon.
Oh, yes. And I guess my GOAT Jet is Dustin Buffalon, because that was the moment that I fell in love with the Jets, was when he ragdolled those 2 Golden Knights. Loved it, and I think that's probably most Jets fans' favorite moment. And moving on to the end of the show, hot and cold performers of the week. Noah, you want to start us off?
Hot performer of the week. We're gonna go. Hot performer of the week. There's nothing really to talk about, man.
Oh, buddy. See, you've missed out on something from the City of Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So, this week at Tim Hortons was Smile Cookie Week, and Dauphin is 7th in the nation for Smile Cookie sales, which is just amazing. So, the City of Dauphin, you get my hot performer of the week. The other really cool thing that happened this week, they ran out of cookies on Friday. They had to fly Smile Cookies from Brandon up to Dauphin. So, yeah, it was pretty darn cool. Go Dauphin, you're my hot performer of the week.
Who's the cold performer?
Cold performer, it goes to the girl I'm seeing for giving me my 2nd ever hangover, because she's like, let's have Pink Whitney and Sprite, which is a hangover in a glass, so... Thank you to my partner in crime for giving me my 2nd ever hangover.
I guess I'll shout out Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who just keeps tearing the cover off the ball in baseball. He's my hot performer of the week. Cold performer. We'll go with the lines at Tim Hortons, man. Like, I don't know what that was all about this week, but I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was really awesome that Dolphin stepped up and did that for Smile Cookie Week. So
Love it.
But yeah, my cold performer, whoever just injured Tua Tagovailoa in football, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. He just got carted off the field. Just read about it on my phone. So whoever injured him, you're my cold performer of the week.
Okay, real quick. Jays make the playoffs or not?
Yeah, they'll make it.
They'll make it? All right. That's it for Jets Nation Radio, Episode 3. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Have yourself a wonderful week. Be safe, be well. Peace and grace to all of you.
Peace out.